Welcome to Yin Yoga with me. Today we have a short flow to open up the chest and heart space. We need our props. I have a bolster, 2 blocks, and a tennis ball with me. So please gather all of your props and I will meet you then in a seat. You can sit in Caesar or cross-legged. Now that you've settled into your seat, take a moment to notice your breath. The way that breath moves in through the nose, inflates your lungs, and then follow the breath out the nose again. Notice the chest space, the shoulders, the natural position of your head as you breathe. Today we'll focus on creating more space across the chest and shoulders, counteracting some of the forward folded patterns of everyday life. We now bring inner elbows and wrists to touch in front, a gentle tuck of the chin, a rounding of the upper back. With the inhale, you open the elbows wide, a gentle lift through the heart. And then tucking in again, open the elbows wide. And tucking gently in, moving that spine. And open through the chest. Next time we come into eagle arms, right arm under. Different variations for those arms. Some of you press backs of hands, others give themselves a generous hug. Let's slide elbows to one side, the gaze to the other, and changing that over. And then we lift those elbows up, taking a breath in. With the exhale, we fold. The head is heavy, leaning forward. A moment to feel that between the shoulder blades. And we release that. Open up those wings, those arms, splay them out to the side. And then we repeat that again. We're tucking in. We open elbows wide, the fingers lengthen a little. And then this time we bring left arm underneath into those eagle arms. You find your variation. Remember, you can always take that generous hug. We slide elbows to the left, the gaze over that right shoulder. And then changing that, the elbows slide to the right, the gaze to the left. How does it feel around the backs of the shoulders? Floating those elbows up with a breath in. And then taking a fold. The head is leaning forward. And we just notice how that feels in the back of the heart. Coming all the way back up. And then release those arms, bring them out and down. A moment to feel that on the body. A moment to notice the breath. Now from here we will come off our support, our little seat. We slide that off to the side. Now we're coming into Anahata Asana, melting heart pose. For that I keep my hips over the knees. And you see me here resting my wrists and forearms over a bolster. The head is on the floor. If you don't want to take that bolster, you could of course place your hands, forearms onto the mat and rest the head. Option to come into half Anahata Asana with one forearm crossed in front. Now you choose what works best for your body here. And then allow that heart, the chest space to sink towards the ground. A couple of moments here to create a little space without the need to do anything. If you're in half Anahata Asana, you might want to change arms. Last breath in, long breath out. We release the shape and slowly slide the seat back over the heels, sinking into your child's pose. Some of you have the knees a little wider, others bring the knees a little closer together. Arms might rest in front or by your side. Now give yourself just 2 more rounds of breath here. Shoulders soft. And then come all the way back up for a little bit of acupressure. So now we take that tennis ball or massage ball and we place it underneath the collarbone. So you see now I slide my left hand along the right collarbone out to the very end of that collarbone and then go underneath. There's that divot underneath where you can feel the muscles, the fleshy bits. We come to lie forward on the belly. You're going to pop the ball into that particular spot and then rest down. The arms are pointing back towards the legs. You might turn one side of the head down, and if you can't quite feel the compression of that ball, you might want to place a blanket underneath so you have that a bit elevated. Now allow the weight of the chest and shoulder to sink over that ball. Here the acupressure gives you another way to connect with the tissues of the chest. We work with these lung 1 and lung 2 acupoints, bringing gentle compression and awareness into the pectoral tissues. And then taking the ball out and bringing that right arm out to the right side, palm is facing down. You turn your head, right ear on the floor, you're looking to the left. Left hand next to ribs, left foot might float up and then you roll the whole left side of the body up and open. So that left leg comes behind you with left foot either on the floor or the leg floating behind you. Option to bend both knees and stack them, or maybe put a bolster between the legs. And there's the option of bringing that left arm into your lower back. Then give your body a couple of moments to truly land in this shape. No effort needed. We're creating a little space on the right side of the chest, running into the arm, for the breath to move in and out. For the next few breaths, there's nothing to push away, nothing to force, just allowing the front of the body to become a little more spacious. If you had your left arm around the back, bring that back in front of you, and then slowly roll back onto the belly. We take a moment here. The head might rest on folded hands. A moment to listen to the echoes of that previous pose. Taking in another round of breath. Then bringing the hands next to your ribs and yourself up into a tabletop position. Now in tabletop, you turn the right fingers to point back to your knee. If that feels too strong, bring the fingers out to the side. Now option to stay here or gently engage the spine with some cat-cow movement, rounding, arching the spine. And really feel that in the inner seam of the wrist. Releasing that, circle the right wrist or shake that off. We come into a twisted child. Right arm threads underneath the left. You come to rest on outer right shoulder, right side of the head. The knees might widen a little. And then you give yourself a few moments to land in this shape. A gentle tugging along the tissues around that right shoulder blade. Allowing the body to soften, to sink into this shape. Just a few more rounds of breath. Gradually making your way out of this twisted child. You come back up and we grab that ball again for the other side of the acupressure massage or myofascial release. Now slide my right fingers along left collarbone towards the end there. Go underneath with that ball. Come forward to rest on the belly. Pop the ball in onto that spot where we find the two beginning points of the lung meridian. I bring my left arm to point back towards my feet. And here I rest my forehead on my forearm. And again, if you can't quite feel a decent compression, place a blanket underneath so that everything is a little elevated. Sink over the ball. One more round of breath. Taking the ball out and bringing left arm straight out to the left onto the floor. The palm is facing down. You turn your head, your left ear is on the floor. Right hand next to right ribs, right foot might float up and you roll the whole right side of the body open. The right leg comes slightly behind you. Some of you place the foot on the ground. Others bring both knees to stack on top of each other. Option always here to put a bolster between the legs. Now I also bring my right arm around my back. And then this is where we will stay. No effort needed. The body can now sink and soften into this shape. A couple more breaths. Gentle opening through the side of the chest there and the left side. Notice how that feels. Maybe you can feel the front of the body becoming a little bit more spacious. Now that right arm comes back in the front and you roll yourself back onto the belly. A moment to notice, to feel this. The effect of the previous pose. The sides of the body realign. And bring the hands next to your ribs. Come up to tabletop. We'll take our twisted child from here, sliding back of left hand underneath that right arm. And then come to rest here. Know that you can widen the knees a little bit more or bring them closer together. That right arm could be stretched overhead, resting on a prop. Or just let that right arm land by your face. Allowing the weight of the body to become heavy, sinking down towards the ground. Notice the skin and the tissues of that left shoulder blade, shoulder, as you breathe. Maybe you can sense the gentle tugging of the tissues behind the left shoulder. And bringing ourselves back up into a tabletop position. And this time we turn the left fingers to point back at the knee. Can stay here and stillness sends that in the inner seam of that wrist. Or engage with some gentle movement of the spine. We then release that wrist, a little circle or shaking that off. Then we prepare for a supported fish pose, bringing the bolster across the mat behind you. There's a bit of a gap between your seat and the bolster. You then recline back over it. And you're able to open those arms out above the bolster, out to the side. The head rests on a block. You choose the height of that block. And once you've settled, take note of the legs, whether you want to keep them like I have them here in this butterfly shape. Maybe you wish to bend the knees, let them knock in, or lengthen the legs out. We then soften the face and allowing that breath to flow in and out, feeling the expansion of that chest. Each time you exhale, feel that sense of release in the body. And sometimes creating space in the body is as simple as giving ourselves permission to stop folding forward and instead open up and breathe. Then invite some movement back into the fingertips and make your way over one side as we're about to sit back up into a comfortable seat. Now take a moment to notice the space across your chest, the feeling around the shoulders. I hope that you leave this practice with a bit more space to breathe, a little more freedom to move, and a little less that you need to hold. I say thank you for practicing with me. Until I see you next time, take care.